Good morning to everyone that's joining us for your Monday morning espresso shot. I'd like to start with placing our awareness in the area of the heart, taking slow, deep breaths, and visualizing this flowing in and out of your heart, and breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would, and just allowing yourself to just breathe in this wonderful, wonderful energy that is processed by your heart, flowing in and out of your heart. See if you can count to 5 seconds breathing in and then 5 seconds breathing out. And just these slow, gentle, deep breaths. And don't stop at the top and don't stop at the bottom of the breaths. Just continue to take these slow, deep breaths and just visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. Gentle breathing techniques. Slow, deep breaths. If you experience thoughts that are coming through your head, become an observer. In other words, do not engage those thoughts. Just allow those thoughts to pass through you and do not engage. Just focus on your heart, taking slow, deep breaths. And as you place your awareness in the heart area, as you draw them in, visualize these or experience these breaths flowing in and out of your heart very gently. Slow, deep breaths. Notice if your shoulders are moving up and down. If they are, you need to be gentle with yourself, more gentle than you are. Just experience your chest moving up and down in terms of expanding and contracting as you breathe in and breathe out. And just place awareness in the area of your chest. And feel the expansion as you draw those breaths in and visualize them flowing into your heart. And experience the gentle hug as you exhale from the heart, as your body begins to hug your heart as you exhale. This is your morning heart hug. This is how we love for ourselves, how we love ourselves. Self-love is a cornerstone for our progression, for engaging life in a gentle and easy way. Self-love. You're doing it now. Wonderful. And now for the I didn't know that moment. Today I want to talk to you about an experience I had when I was in Thailand about a week ago. I had a couple of days to explore, and so I decided to go to a monastery. They have Tibetan monasteries in Thailand, and I have an affinity with Tibetan, all things Tibetan. and especially monasteries. So I ended up walking towards this monastery from where I was staying. It was about a 15 to 20 minute walk. And as I began walking about halfway to my destination, I began to feel a lot of love and compassion as I thought about seeing this monastery for the first time. I had no idea what it looked like, only what was in the photographs. And I just started feeling a lot of love, and I began to well up. My eyes began to well up from the love that I was feeling in this monastery. And as I began walking towards this, it was at high noon. The sun was very high, and we were, close to the equator, so it was quite hot. And as I began walking to this monastery, I was feeling that love. I began to approach this monastery. I saw it at the distance, and at that point in time, I could not contain my tears anymore. They were just flowing down my cheeks, and so I was feeling a lot of compassion, a lot of love. And as I approached this monastery, and I took a picture, and then the photograph you see in front of you is one of the few photographs I took of the area. And so there was nobody in this monastery. There was no one around, not a soul. It was just empty. And so I kind of walked onto the land. It was open land, and I just stared at the front of the monastery, and I started tearing up. Then a few meters away, I saw a gazebo overlooking a lake. So I thought I could sit down at this gazebo and just feel more of this energy. As I sat down, I heard a dog barking in the distance. Now, in Thailand, most of the dogs are unleashed, and there are wild dogs around. And so this particular dog began barking aggressively and approached me. I didn't feel any fear at this time. I simply just ignored the dog, and I was just experiencing the bliss in the area, and just exploring the feelings I was feeling at the time. And the dog was barking away, and then stopped barking, and then started barking and howling away. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw from off the land 2 more dogs approaching. Now all these 3 dogs were now approaching the gazebo. At this point in time, my intuition indicated to me that I should maybe just walk away, because I wasn't sure what was going on here. There was not a soul around to bring the dogs back down. These were 3 dogs approaching me. And so I gently got up. There was no fear in my heart. I did not feel any fright. And these dogs were quite aggressive. And as I walked out of the gazebo, they surrounded me. And my intuition just guided me to keep walking, cross that circle, and do not even look back. When I crossed that circle, there was a temptation for me to look back to see if they would attack. I would make a run for it. But my intuition guided me not to look back. It just asked me to just keep going straight. And as I walked straight, I made it to the road. I looked back, the dogs just dispersed. At this point in time, I didn't really think much of this. And it was only on the plane back 2 days later that I realized I was in a potentially dangerous situation. So the story of this is that when you are filled with compassion and love in your heart, and you come across a situation that could be potentially harmful, dangerous, or perhaps an obstacle in your life. You don't necessarily have to be surrounded by dogs, but it could be an adverse situation in your life. At that point in time, that field of compassion that you've generated within you will guide you out of that, unharmed, with ease and grace. And like I said, it was only on the plane ride back as I thought about the situation, I realized I was in Thailand, and these dogs seemed to be aggressive and wild, and I came out of it with no problem at all. And that is really the power of compassion. That is what we've been practicing here. And as you practice every day, and you're able to summon up compassion on demand, all your life's problems will just fall away. As a matter of fact, you will not know that you are in a situation which for other people would have been a frightful situation, a situation which they would not recover from in terms of emotionally for a few days. You will not experience that. As a matter of fact, you won't even realize that the power of your practice that we're doing here until you reflect on it much later on. So this is the gift the universe has given us, is the ability to fill our hearts with compassion and move through adversity on a daily basis without having to deal with drama. So having said that, let us begin now a practice that we've always been doing, and I encourage you to continue to do this for 15 minutes a day. So let us begin by placing our awareness in the area of the heart. Let's take slow, deep breaths and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. Now begin to experience love, compassion, gratitude, appreciation. Just fill your heart with this amazing love. And you are now inviting Spirit into your heart. You are now inviting to have a more profound experience of life, the greatest expression of yourself in this moment and on the moments that follow, as you experience this wonderful energy of love, compassion, gratitude, appreciation. Draw these deep breaths in and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Bringing forward an emotion from the past is the same as experiencing it in the now, because your body can't tell the difference. It produces the chemicals required for you to boost your immune system, to have a deeper connection. As a matter of fact, you have a deeper intuition when you bring forward memories that allow you to feel joy and appreciation. That is the language with which the universe responds like for like. And as you bring forward an appreciation in your heart, you will receive more experiences that reinforce the feeling of that appreciation or gratitude or joy. So train your heart. Your heart has a brain. It has many neurons. At this point in time, when you experience joy in your heart, you're training it right now. You're building a neural pathway system that allows you to find a way to summon up joy and appreciation on demand. We were born with a lot of joy and appreciation in our hearts. You hear children cooing regardless of who's around them. They could be in the room by themselves, little toddlers, and they would be cooing and they would be just enjoying themselves. They would just be feeling the bliss. Simplest things in lives would entertain them. We have forgotten this. We've built a fortress around our hearts. So let us go back to that which allows us to feel joy and compassion and gratitude and love, no matter what's going on around us. This is what we need to move gracefully through life and claim our birthright, that of a joyous existence. By taking these slow, deep breaths and experiencing joy, you are sending a signal to the universe that you want more of this, that send you experiences that reinforce these feelings. Wonderful. Thank you so much for participating this morning. And I'm just going to go back and see some comments from the group. Anne, yes, good morning to you, Anne. Yes, those 5 minutes go by very quickly. I agree wholeheartedly. Michelle, She says, I love the story you shared, which inspires me. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you, Michelle. I'm glad to be of service that way. Anne, your response, yes, but it does take patience, practice. Actually practicing compassion, gratitude, joy. We can tear with you in compassion as we experience these things too. Oh, so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this wonderful moment with me every Monday morning. I so look forward to connecting with my soul family. So thank you so very much. If there are no more questions, I'm happy to just let you sit in this wonderful feeling and just hold on to this wonderful feeling and summon it up. Practice it every day. Every day, practice it. If you are members of the Ignite family, I have a webinar, live webinar on December 9th about taking a deep dive. This is where we'll actually look at how we can make our desires, articulate our desires, do a meditation, and then call forth the experiences that fulfill what our desires are. So this is more of law of attraction, and more of creating the energy field, more of how we create the circumstances around us that are joyous, and we can live life to the fullest of our expression. And that's happening on December 9th. If you are a member of Ignite, again, there are the law of attraction, avoiding common mistakes, and reversing your aging process. Our webinars available to you on demand replay. So if there are any questions, I don't see any more coming in. There is Cecile. Yeah, thank you for your comments. It says, she said, living with that compassion and putting it into action changes those who receive it and those who experience that compassion as well. It's more about, thank you for that, Cecile. It's more about how it changes you and me when I'm experiencing this, how it changes me, and how others get transformed by it. It's not really, we're not attached to that. We're just happy to be of service in that way. But the most important part is we're doing it because we want to feel this connection with the deep spirit, deeply with spirit. And that's why we do this. And that's our only kind of motivation to do this. If others are transformed by it, that's just wonderful and amazing. But we're not tied to that outcome. Thank you so much, Cecile, for that comment. All right, wonderful. I don't see any more questions coming. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.